Hello friends, happy to see you back on my channel. It's 2026 and with this video I want to share with you what we need to expect for our finances from the regulation that's actually being introduced since January the 1st, 2026 in Germany for everyone who is working for midi or regular job. I think this video would be helpful for you because I particularly was interested to find the information that will help me to understand better what my final compensation this year would look like. So that's why I'm sharing with you everything I've got so far to keep you updated also and keep you posted on the numbers that you are gonna see starting from January 2026 in your banking account. And let's start from the first point that very expected. The minimum wage is increased again almost every year. It's being changed, and starting January 2026 the hourly pay, minimum hourly pay would be €13.90. That's almost €1 above or higher than the previous limit of the previous year. It means that everyone who is applying for mini jobs, it's good news because now you are eligible to get up to €603 per month without paying any social contribution or anything additional, any taxes out of your income. So if you are a student, for example, that means that if you are agreeing on something below €603 per month compensation for your work, it would be exactly the number you would get on your banking account at the end of the month. If you are applying for midi job, that is between the range of the €603 up to €2,000 per month brutto income, it means that you are going to be paying reduced amount of social contribution and the taxes, but with that you would receive already all the benefits that regular employees are getting. And if your job is above €2,000 per month brutto compensation, it means you are going to pay all the regular social contribution and the taxes, but meanwhile receiving all the social guarantees or protection safety net that regular employees receiving in Germany. And I think it's a great thing because that's one of the main points why I really appreciate living and working in Germany. I shared more thoughts on that in my previous video, so feel free to check it out. I want to also emphasize that we as the regular employees, if you are already in that cohort of people like me, we would expect unfortunate changes to our netto income. So monthly payment, brutto payment won't be changed, but net income that we receive at the end of the month directly to our banking account would be less than the previous year without changing brutto. Netto would be changed. I explained more in details what's the construct of the German salary in the separate video, so if you are particularly interested and new to this topic, feel free to check that. But with the changes that we see to the minimum wage and all the other arrangement around pension and medical contributions here, we should expect less pay for the same brutto salary. And therefore I want to always highlight that in Germany, for example, it can be a strategy to decrease an amount of hours that you spend at work. So instead of 40 hours work week, you can always change it to 35 hours work week. And by doing this, you actually can gain more net income than working regular time. But let me know if you are interested about this topic. I would definitely be happy to explain this to you because I also considering it as the one options for my later career development, because at some point dealing with all the taxes in Germany, sometimes it's actually economically more beneficial for you to reduce the hours per week spent at work, and by doing this you're actually receiving the same money but having more time for yourself. But let's talk about that in the separate video. Another change that I wanted to say, that now the allowance, tax-free allowance of income, annual income, is a bit higher. Again, it correlates to the change to the minimum hourly wage. So if in the previous years it was €12,096 per year, if your income was below that number, you were not expected, not required to pay any taxes and social contribution. Starting this year, January 2026, if the annual income is below €12,348, then that's your threshold without paying any taxes. But if you are above this threshold, you would be paying the taxes and all the social contribution on the proportion of everything that you have on top of this number. And with that, I actually want to emphasize the topic of the tax return, tax deduction, especially for students who are working and studying at the same time. So please make sure to investigate the topic of tax report more in details. I have few videos already on my channel. I collected them in this playlist so you can dig into the topic a bit more. And also for regular employees, especially if it's your first years in Germany, please make sure you try at least to fill in the tax report, because believe me, you might be surprised seeing few hundreds euro as the payback from your taxes, because most likely you overpaid a lot of the taxes in the previous year. For students, I'm pretty sure that's the case, because actually students are paying way more for their educational stuff and all the things that actually can be deducted from your taxes in the following year. So make sure you go into the tax reports topic as soon as possible and get yourself some money back to spend it for more pleasant things rather than just paying taxes. And one more, fifth change to the payment in Germany for everyone who is relocating here or already working in Germany. EU needs to introduce the pay transparency directive. That means that everyone who is posting a job, like every employer, needs to transparently share the information about the pay range for the specific position. And by doing this, actually, it would give better fair trades to all the employees who are applying for the job. And also, I personally think that for immigrants, it would be way easier to find the adequate numbers for their salary, because if you are coming to the new country and searching for a job, you literally don't know where to start, and you usually need to do a certain research and also to rely on your charisma, on your ability to negotiate in order to get a good salary compensation for the new job in Germany. But now with the transparency directive, the solution would be way more fair to everyone to get the adequate salary, adequate compensation for the job, and allow people to be more educated about how the local market works. Let's see each other in my next videos that are already available on my channel. Take care and see you very soon. Bye bye.